Hello again, everyone. Today I have a few fountain pen inks to swatch for you. I mentioned these in a prior video. These I received after I said I probably wasn't going to get any more ink, mostly because of this particular color that I had been on a wait list for quite some time, so I went ahead and got that. This is Pannonia Inks Dracule, I think it's called. Let's see, does it say on this bottle? Draculea. That's what it's called. So we'll do that. Let me take this other one out of the box here. This is Wearingul, which is a new company that I have not, I don't have any inks from them. So I thought I would try that. And the color seemed kind of interesting. It's like a grayish, a brownish gray neutral color, which I do like to have some neutral colors. It's called Stonecutter's Song. And there's a whole story behind the inks, but I don't really know enough about it to tell you about it. I have somewhat limited time today, so I'm going to try and get through these in just a few minutes. I have my regular tools here. The book that I'm doing my swatches in, I will put a link to the setup of this notebook, and that will go through all of the details of that, and it will also give you a link to this automatic pen, which I am going to use to do some of my swatching here. And then the other tool that I'm using is this Moon Man glass dip pen, which is a travel dip pen that comes off. And I'll put a link to this as well because it was not in that original video setup. And because I got a sample of this Kakimori black ink, I am gonna bring out my Kakimori nibs. I have both a steel and a brass now, and I will play around with those a little bit with this particular sample. All right, well, let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to find a page here. And so I'm gonna do the one on this other side. Move these tools out of the way. I also have a pot of water off to the side and a paper towel to wipe off my tools as I go. And I'm just going to create these lines here. I would go to another page, but again, I'm trying not to get any more ink, but you know how it goes. I always know never to say never because there's probably going to be more things that I want to get for certain things. Okay, so let's go with the one that I got that really specifically drew me to buying more ink. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that page a little better, which is this Pannonia Dracule. So the samples or the swatches that I saw online of this showed, oh yeah, like this, showed quite a bit of color separation. And I'm not sure if this will gunk up pens or not. I'll probably try it in a cheaper pen first. I'm gonna shake it a little bit. I wonder if it's sort of the same concept as a sparkle ink, but instead of sparkle, we have sort of a little bit of black granulation going on. But let's see. So you can kind of see, I'm wondering if it would come out more in a fountain pen, but you're seeing a little bit of that. You're getting nothing but glare there. You're seeing a little bit of, oh, you can definitely see it here. So it's almost like granulating watercolor. And when I saw this, I was like, this is a really interesting ink. I definitely want to try it out. But like I said, I don't know whether it will clog pens or not. So I'll have to try it out. But the color is also beautiful, and I really like that granulation stuff going on. So let me get the glass dip pen, put that in there. You can really see the separation now way more than before. It's really cool. I'll put it up to the camera again too. So this is Pannonia Dracule with a little curly thingy. Okay, yeah, this is really a cool ink. So you can kind of see why I broke my I'm not going to get more ink rule for this one, because it's really unique and interesting. Okay, I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to put that up to the camera so you can see here There's, like I said, it's almost like granulation in watercolor. It's really, really cool. I cannot at this point really see that in the writing, but we'll see once it's completely dried whether that shows up, because this showed up more as it dried. I have no idea how it does it. All right, so let's go on to this next one, which is this Wearingul. Oops, looks like I got some, I don't know if it's ink. It's probably, could be from the marker. Oh, I don't know what that is. Getting all over my paper. Okay, so let's go with this one. And this was basically just to fill out my order so that I could get free shipping. You know, it goes, this is really beautiful too. I mean, this is a really, really nice neutral. Really pretty. Oh. And one of the reasons why I liked the look of this one too is it has some shading in it, but it's not super light like some of the ones that have been coming out lately. So this is Wearingul, and then this is called what? Stonecutter's Song. All right, that is really beautiful too. Totally not regretting these, although, like I said, I have more ink than I could use in a lifetime, so I'm just adding to the pile. But that is also really interesting and pretty cool. And actually, now that the words here are dried a little bit, you can see a little bit of that black shading in there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really cool. That's a really cool ink. Okay, and I got these at Van Ness Pens, by the way. All right, so this one I am going to put on my sample page because this is just a sample. And let me get out my Kakimori nibs. So I actually do have, so this is a Kakimori holder, their wooden holder. And this is the brass nib, and then this is the stainless steel nib, but I just put this in a regular nib holder from Tachikawa, which I got for maybe $7, I think, the holder itself. But it's kind of nice because it has this grippy area here. There's also one that you can get that has a cap. This one I didn't really need a cap for because I put it in a little case. So, but I just thought that these two would be nice additions. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for now, actually let's play around with this ink while those dry is what I'm gonna do. So I got some Tomoe River paper here. I probably wouldn't actually be using this on Tomoe River because I wouldn't be using it to write letters, although you could. It'd probably be really good for that. What I was planning on doing with this is more sketching, because these particular pens are really nice for that. Okay, so let's see if I can dip and not get this everywhere. So it kind of needs to warm up a little bit before it starts flowing. But once it gets flowing, and this one, this is the brass one, it really has a lovely, you can turn it to get more ink from different things. It really has a lovely feel. It's a little bit soft. Oops. And this really, I mean, it can go on for quite a while and you can get these expressive marks. I do find that I have to kind of turn it a little bit as I go so that all the individual little, because it has all these little, I don't even know what you'd call them, divots in here where the ink flows down, and when they run out, I find that you have to kind of turn it as you write so that you can take advantage of the other ones, if that makes sense. Okay, I am going to, so that rinsed out pretty well. And then let's go ahead and try the stainless steel one, which I'm hoping I can do without. Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna work. I was hoping I could not get ink on the holder, but that's just gonna happen. Okay, because this is a brand new holder. Oh wow, that's interesting. This one seems to be wetter and write better. I may have loaded it up more. So with this one, you know, the further you go to the side, and you can get really fine lines going up, and then it's really nice for drawing. And this will go on forever, basically, if you let it. I'm going to try one more time with the brass one, because this actually had a ton of ink left in it. I'm thinking I dipped that deeper in there. I'm going to try and do the same. Trying to rinse that off with all these things in the way. Let me do that. Okay. So let me try one more time with, oh, you can totally see that's kind of getting stuck in there. This was one of my concerns with these nibs, these Kakimori nibs, is that ink would really get stuck in them. Somebody was saying that they wash theirs with a toothbrush. That might be a good idea. And I'm going to dip this one a little bit further this time and see. This is the brass one again. Yeah, there we go. For some reason, this always takes a little while to warm up, and then doesn't always flow. I'm wondering if I kind of got a dud on this one. Although I found that if I mean, maybe I'm just pressing too lightly. If I press a little harder, it definitely flows better, which is interesting because I don't normally press hard with my dip pens. Yeah, it works much better pressing hard. Not super hard, but just like with a little bit of pressure. Yeah, so strange. Yeah, so I started putting a little bit more pressure on this, and it's been, oops, I jinxed it. It's been flowing much better. Okay. Trying to use up the ink, and this is actually not a super black. You can tell it looks a little bit gray when you start to work with it on the broader side of the nib a little bit. Okay, so I'm basically just running my pretty dirty with fountain pen ink paper towel into these little dips here in the nib, and then I probably will clean these out more later. Okay, so that is the Kakimori black ink. This is permanent. I'm going to stick my finger into a little bit of water here. It looks like, for the most part, you're not getting any bleed. I think that some of the thicker areas take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm not, I'm not like completely sold on the Kakimori black ink. Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to do is do a sample of this, and I may just have to, yeah, we can do it here. I'll do it one-handed. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Okay, so let me go with my automatic pen. And I don't know, it looks pretty black there though. But you can see as it gets a little bit more dilute, it is not as black. Seems to be a pretty sticky color though. Like it's not rinsing super easily out of my automatic pen. I'm thinking that for the Kakimori nibs, I think I'm probably going to be using Diatramentis Document Black for the most part, just because that is an ink that has a really good ink flow and is not as sticky as this. This seems a little sticky. Kakimori Koton. Okay. I'm just going to put permanent there so that I know. This is just a sample. Let me wipe that off and then I'll have to go. But yeah, and it seems to be taking quite a bit longer to dry on this Tomoe River. And although you can see the two places where I put water over, the first one where the ink was a little thicker, it seems to have gotten a little bit of gray smeared, but the other one did not move the color at all. All right, so that's the Kakimori. We're not going to wait for that to dry because I have to go, but it definitely seems to be staying wet pretty long. And let me cap that Kakimori ink so that it doesn't fall all over my table. And then we're going to go back to these. And these are a hit. Yeah, I love this. I'm going to have to try it in some fountain pens and see and make sure it doesn't clog them. And then this one is just really, really lovely. It's a really nice lighter ink that is still really visible and has a really nice sort of purpley brown undertone to this somewhat gray ink. Really, really nice. All right, so those are good inks to be the second round of last inks. This one I probably wouldn't buy a full bottle of. They're kind of expensive. And like I said, I think I still prefer the Diatramentis document inks. This happens to be a sample of sepia brown, but I do have black and some other colors that I really enjoy using. So those are kind of my mainstay for permanent inks. All right, well, that's all I had for you today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.